Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. It is Friday, August 15th, 2025. This is episode 942 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. If you're interested in getting updated on the top cyber threat news stories, intelligence that you can use to deliver cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders, all while hanging out with a bunch of amazing people, hashtag Team SC, well, my friend, you are in the right place. And if you're looking to break into the industry, you're a little cyber curious and you're trying to get up to date, stay current, and engage the industry, you are in the right place also, because we are a multifaceted program. We're all about support, inclusion, and empowering you to kick as much butt as you absolutely want. That's what we're doing here. Good morning. My name is Gerald Auger. I will be your host for the next hour. And over that hour, we're going to go through 8 cyber stories. I'm going to give you the headlines and the kind of high surface level elements of that story. Then I'm going to apply the 20 years of experience I have and my absolute blistering passion for cybersecurity to go beneath the headlines and educate and deliver value on what is, kind of like the bigger picture, the macro level, the things that you can do at work immediately, utilizing this intelligence from these stories to be able to either, harden your attack surface or reduce your attack surface or educate your end users or just generally be a good person helping others protect themselves from threat actors, because threat actors, ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Holla. Now, I do want you to know, of all these stories we're going to be going, I don't know what we're going to be talking about. I do this off the cuff, and if you don't believe me, trust me, I literally have no idea what stories are coming or what I'm going to say. I'm as much a passenger on this crazy train as well as the conductor, if you will. So, toot toot, all aboard the crazy train. Giddy up on this one. Now, I do want you to know, if you are a first timer, so you're here for the first time ever, or perhaps you're regular, but you've been kind of creeping in the background, and you're lurking, if you will, do take a moment, say hashtag first timer. I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, be the CEO of you. Network, relationships, etc. I'm giving a talk at keynoting. I'm keynoting B-Sides Greenville in September. So if you're around the Greenville, South Carolina area, Code Brew, do check out B-Sides Greenville. But what I want to tell you is my keynote talk is all about empowering you to take action and build your personal brand, for lack of a better term, in order to be able to have opportunities and be able to pivot around in industry. Because honestly, guys, if 100% of your income is tied to one job, right, which many people it is, right? So if you have one job and that's where all the money comes that you use to fund your lifestyle, pay for your family, clothe your kids, feed your, yourself and your family, and you get laid off because of reduction in force or because it was a bad Q3, you have no control over that, and that's bullcrap. So what I want to do is empower you to be able to respond quickly and effectively when those type of situations happen, so you're not getting all sweaty. You're like, you know what? I got this. That's what we're doing here. We go well beyond any of the standard podcasts. So if you're looking for a standard cyber podcast, I still recommend you check us out, but we're doing something a bit more special here, a bit more community driven, a bit more service focused. We're off and running on a beautiful Friday morning, guys. I do want to say shout out and thanks, first of all, to all of you, like the Port Zeros up in the Midlands, the Bonnie Charles, the Mondo Avilias, the KPs, the DPs, the Tech Run 11Gs, and the TJ Williams guys. All about good times. Shout out to the mods. We got Kimberly Can Fix It, live from the beach, Justin Gold, live from bed, Casually Joseph, unconscious at the moment, but we'll get him synced up at 9 a.m. Haircut Fish dropping bombs, Jenny Housley, leading things in a very stable, consistent way. We are killing it today. But I also want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring this show to you, put a smile on my face, and do a French press every single morning straight to the dome. Starting with anti-siphon training. Holy crap, anti-siphon training. They're disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by offering high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, including Ray W699, Brandon Corbin, Space Tacos. And on August 28th, just 13 days away, less than 2 weeks, less than 1 score of days if you're going into the 1800s language of measurements. Blue Team Summit's around the corner. Half the speakers at this summit are actually Simply Cyber community members. Holler! And they are going to be delivering hot takes, great content, all for free. There's also an opportunity for community because this Blue Team Summit's going to have a Discord channel. Lots of people popping off, sharing thoughts, sharing experiences, sharing tools, tips, resources, best practices. Dude, you don't want to miss this. If my recommendation to you is to register for this. It costs nothing. Register, put it on your calendar. Dude, if something comes up, a doctor's appointment, you got some work that you weren't expecting, you slept in, whatever, then you missed the summit. Who cares? But if you have it on your calendar, I can tell you one thing. If the opportunity's there, you will do it. Believe me, this is like one of my best pro tips. Put it on your calendar or it will not happen. You can have the best intentions, the greatest ideas, all those things. If it's not on your calendar, there's a higher probability it is not happening 100%. Blue Team Summit, get some. Also want to say shout out and love to Flare Academy. Flare, a cyber threat intelligence platform that I really enjoy, is also launched Flare Academy, which is basically monthly talks that are also free. We are all about free up in this piece. Free from industry professionals teaching and educating. And the best part is after the free 2-hour webinar, you get these people for 2 hours. You can jump on Flare's Discord and start talking to them directly. Kind of like when you do a talk and you step down from the podium and you talk to a bunch of people kind of like after the talk in the hallway. That's what they're doing. They're all virtual. On September 4th, they are having Nick Ascoli and Eric Clay talk about credential theft and how it's being done, info stealers, and not just, oh, I got an info stealer. What happens when they steal the information? What do you do with that? All that is quite interesting. Also want to update everybody. Yesterday, I talked at length about how much I have like kind of a low-key, it's not like a man crush, but Nick Ascoli is awesome. This dude is my people's, okay? And someone said, oh, why don't you get him on Firesides? So I did. I reached out to him yesterday and said, what's up, dude? Let's party. And he said, yes, high five. Let's do it. So he's going to be coming on Simply Cyber Firesides, where I will be absolutely delighted to spend an hour introducing our community to this guy. And I have a suspicion once he finds out what we're up to here, he's going to be Team SC. So just a little tinfoil hat hot take there. We'll see how it goes, but he's just a cool dude who really loves cybersecurity and helping people, and I don't know what else you could want beyond that. All right. Also, dudes, did you know about Barricade Cyber Solutions and their Fortify 365 solution? If you didn't, here's the deal. Go to fortify365.com. Simple as that. If you are running an M365 instance, which many of us are, and you haven't taken the steps to actually configure it correctly, it's the same equivalent as buying a new router and bringing it home and plugging it in and being like, we're good here. You would never do that. That is a terrible practice. Misconfigurations or default configurations lead to compromises. Don't be that guy. Don't be that lady. Don't get called at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night because your infrastructure is pwned because you had some crap default configs. Jump on it. Fortify 365. Have Eric Taylor and the team come in and hook you up. Also want to let everybody know, did not know this, coming in hot right now. Apparently at 1 p.m. today, Barricade Cyber Solutions will be doing their monthly update. They've been running this once a month, giving real-time threat intelligence about what Eric Taylor and the team are seeing. I know Eric and the team were actually just dealing with a client engagement, so there might be some insights from that, real-time insights on what's going on. So go check that out. I'll drop a link in the description below for everybody. Double shot of Barricade Cyber Solutions information. We've also got Threat Locker, but I'll talk about them in a minute. Why? Where's my cursor, dude? Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. So if you have a cybersecurity certification and you need to keep it maintained, do me a favor, say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot, file it away once a year, divide by 2. That's how many CPEs you can get. You can literally get 120 CPEs a year for free. For free. You don't have to register to join the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. You don't have to pay to get the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. You can be here for free. You can get those CPEs for free. So anyone who's suggesting that, well, whatever, I don't even want to dig into that. That is like such a sensitive topic, and I don't want to go there. So anyway, say what's up in chat. Right above my head, you can literally take a screenshot. Look at what Thomas Millam did right there. Good day, Team SC, CPE 2025 815. Dude, the name of the show itself has the date in it. The ticker across the bottom. Oh, wait, that says jaw jacking. Hold on one second. Let me fix that. Right there. The ticker is going to say the date and time and the CPEs. Get all that in the screenshot right there. Boom, baby, boom. All right. It is Friday. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Fridays is What's Your Dad Joke Friday with James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. So we got some rib ticklers coming up at the mid-roll. Do me a favor, sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. See you guys at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, August 15th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. A new wave of NFC relay fraud, call hijacking, and root exploits faces the banking sector. Researchers at Threat Fabric have released a report describing a new Android Trojan called Phantom Card, as one word, that, quote, abuses near-field communication, NFC, to conduct relay attacks for facilitating fraudulent transactions targeting banking customers, end quote. Currently, these attacks are occurring in Brazil. Based on an NFC relay malware as a service of Chinese origin, the tool, quote, relays NFC data from a victim's banking card to the fraudster's device, end quote. It is distributed on fake Google Play web pages and features deceptive positive reviews to persuade victims into installing the app.
All right, hold on a second. Let's see. Okay, this is so weird to me. So this is an interesting attack technique, but it's weird because there's a physical proximity issue associated with it. So here's the deal, and this is why they call it relay fraud. I'm gonna give you two things here, okay? Again, I don't research or prep for these stories, and I don't know what's going on, but I'll give you the story and then hot takes, etc., and value add afterwards, okay? And what's up to all the regulars in chat? It's great to see you guys. Appreciate you showing up on the reg. You know, just hashtag Team SC. It's very nice to see you guys. As always, you brighten my morning every single day alongside the cup of coffee. Okay, so first of all, this is Android malware. So it's mobile device. On everybody's mobile phone right now, you have like tap to pay, right? You know, Apple Wallet or whatever, Android Wallet. It is very convenient, right? It's nice to be able to put all your credit cards and crap inside your phone so you have less crap to carry, less crap to lose. And honestly, it further solidifies my phone as like my most important thing. Like if you lose your phone, you're like, rah, devastated, right? Now, first of all, this is weaponizing that capability of your phone broadcasting out financial information, right? Like your credit card, your debit card information. The way it works is you install a piece of software, which is malicious, and the malicious software convinces you to put your credit cards and such in that app. Okay, so now you've loaded the sensitive data in that app. At this point, the threat actor could just send that information out to a C2 server, a controlled server, dump it to like Dropbox or whatever. So like at this point, the threat actor has got that information at least in a staged area on the Android device. The technique that they're using is that they are using NFC, which stands for near field communication, which implies you have to be close to it. And it broadcasts that information out to a threat actor controlled server that is receiving the information. To me, honestly, this feels like a little bit of a lot of effort, frankly. It's less discoverable. Here's the thing. When you are using a phone and it's broadcasting out across a network to a C2 server, you have an opportunity to stop it and detect it, right? You could say, oh, this phone doesn't want to communicate to these IP addresses or off this network. This doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing that? With NFC, it's a different protocol altogether. It still needs to use some type of network stack, but I suspect, and I'm not an expert on NFC, so if there is someone in chat, let me know. But I suspect that it doesn't use IP addressing. IP addressing is for like network communication. With NFC, I would imagine that there's some type of handshake protocol that is defined by the NFC protocol that establishes a just-in-time connection and then communicates data across it, then destroys the connection. So you're not getting those network layer controls from this attack. Now, again, a threat actor would have to have their maliciously controlled server to receive this information nearby these threat actors. So if I had to guess, these are probably servers set up in some type of like shopping plaza or main kind of bizarre thoroughfare. And there's some type of phishing or social engineering capability to get someone to install this app. It is malware. It is masquerading with high-level reviews, which again, you should not be taking software, 5-star review, 2,000 people said what's up. Between bot farms and AI, reviews are trash. The only good review you can get is one from a friend. But yeah, again, I would say be mindful of this. Again, hey, what's up, DJ B-Sec? Holy crap, this guy. Here's what I would say. From a GRC professional perspective and just as a student of cybersecurity, you can look at this story and think, okay, let's think about the cyber kill chain here, right? How does this malware get on a device, right? You gotta phish the person, socially engineer them, convince them to install it, all those things. So that if you could stop that, none of this happens. Number two, it's using NFC as the communication vehicle. But again, this is one of those ones where the threat actor can pivot at any point because once you install the malware, the threat actor has the capability to do things like tell the malware to do something, tell the malware to take screenshots, tell the malware to communicate to a maliciously controlled server, tell the malware to communicate to other devices with the malware on it, et cetera, right? So, and then finally, because this is a proximity-based attack, you do have to have that physical access, which means that the likelihood of getting compromised goes down if like you're a homebody, right? Like if I install this at my house on my Android device and I never leave my home, chances are I'll never be compromised by this because the NFC server isn't going to be able to get my sensitive information. Okay. Let me just look really quickly at any more of this. Yeah, so this is being sold on threat actor controlled. Oh, you know how this works? Actually, this is quite interesting. Hold on one second. How did they get the information then? It looks like it fires off when you actually use this. When you actually use this at a POS system. There exists an equivalent app on the Mule side that's installed on their device to receive this. Yeah, hold on one second. This definitely has a physical proximity thing. Yeah, right here. You can see right here. the criminal is next to. Okay? So the criminal has to be nearby, right? So I don't know. This seems like fine. It's an interesting attack. Again, if I was going to be a threat actor, this seems like a lot of work. When there's, I hate to say it, there's like easier ones. The fact is, this is undetectable. It uses a communication vehicle that's not popularly widely used. So, there's less controls around it.
Canada's House of Commons suffers cyber attack. According to the Canadian news broadcaster CBC News, the attack occurred last Friday. The House of Commons, which is somewhat similar in mission and function to the U.S.
like
Congress,
pickpocketing.
alerted staff on Monday about an information breach, stating that, quote, a malicious actor was able to exploit a recent Microsoft vulnerability to gain unauthorized access to a database containing information used to manage computers and mobile devices, end quote. This is in addition to employees' names, job titles, office locations, and email addresses. No threat actor or more specific cause has been identified as of yet.
All right, so Canada's in the house. What's up, Maple Leafs? If you're in Canada, shout out to you. They got hit with some type of Microsoft compromise. This is so vague a story that it could be Exchange on-prem, or it could have been, some 0 day. You know what I mean? Like, can we get any more information on this one? They gained access to a database containing information used to manage computers and mobile devices. So, this could be, Intune in Azure, or this could be a friggin' Access database on Carl's desktop that is used to keep track of things. So this is a super what are we supposed to do with this story? This is probably this is such a vague story that we can't even, I have medium confidence that this is a nation state threat actor attacking Canada because it's so vague and it's so niche in attack. Not niche, but generic, excuse me, quite the opposite of niche. It's generic. This could have been just some random threat actor who found a vulnerable internet-facing Microsoft service and kind of tickled it and got in and then was able to access the database. It doesn't say that they exfilled anything. It just says they accessed it. Guys, if I use check this out. I just want to this is for I guess for everybody in chat right now. Let me just show you. This is insectcam.org, okay? I love this website. It's an aggregation of website of cameras in websites, okay? So check it out. Let's look at this really quickly, okay? Hold on one second. I want to give you something interesting because I'm going to make a point here, and I want you to, not appreciate it. But look at this, okay? Wherever Germany is right now. Look at this. Is a live video feed from Hamburg, Germany. Okay, you can see people moving in it, whatever. Okay. Now, this camera, and you guys can't see it on stream right now, but if I were to click this right now. This is an internet-facing, publicly accessible camera feed. The IPv4 address, the explicit address, is what this will go to if I click it, okay? And I'm not actually committing a crime at all. This is a public-facing, public IP address, public resource that I could access, okay? So if I click on this, I go to that thing. Now, again, I'm walking right up to the edge of the precipice here. If I were to look at what type of technology this is, it is an Axis IoT web camera. So Axis IoT webcam default creds, okay? I just want to, again, I'm making a point here, okay? Holy crap. Axis IoT web cameras don't even have a default password. The default username is root. Oh, wait, older models have root, and then the password is pass, okay? So again, if I were to click in on this, I might be able to log in with root and pass. At that point, I have unauthorized access this device. I haven't done anything. There's no problems. There's no exfil. There's no malware. There's no nothing. All I did was click around, right? So when I look at a story like this, getting back to the actual point of my story here, when a threat actor exploits a vulnerability and gains unauthorized access, it could have just been some punk who pushed a Metasploit at it, got in and was like, oh crap, wow, let me get out of here. It doesn't, like, it runs the gambit between 16-year-old curious kid and China's most advanced next level nation state threat actors. There's no information here. So like there might be 1,000 words here, but they don't say anything. All right. I guess the only instance is that there's an increase in activity on nation state level compromises, especially NATO based ones, which would lead you to think that this could be a BRICS country like China, which is really good at espionage, but you can't, jump to conclusions on that.
Zoom fixes a critical Windows client flaw that could enable a privilege escalation. The flaw has a CVE number and a CVSS score of 9.6 and exists within Zoom clients for Windows. An advisory from the company confirms that, quote, an untrusted search path in certain Zoom clients for Windows may allow an unauthenticated user to conduct an escalation of privilege via network access, end quote. The advisory also lists the various products affected. A link is available in the show notes to this episode.
Okay, so here is a reality, okay? So I recently signed up for Zoom, okay? Which, by the way, is freaking expensive and wicked confusing. Just as a quick editorial, if anyone in chat has like shopped Zoom, if you work somewhere that uses Zoom, you just like sign up and get a license and you don't even think about it. If you're a business owner and you're or a nonprofit and you're purchasing Zoom, they make it incredibly complicated, like overly complicated. I had to get on the phone with people at Zoom to have them explain to me what the hell they're selling. And even then it's like license on license on license on stack on how many people. It's like plus ups all over the place. I'm going to use Zoom, but I really am having an unpleasant experience with it. Okay, so, but here's the thing. Enough complaining, Jerry. Who cares about your Zoom problems? Tell me what I need to know. Here's the deal. Because I use Zoom now to deliver the community workshops for Simply Cyber, which you should check out. They're coming every week. We just had one with Kathy Chambers and James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet earlier this week. I need to worry about it now because it's in my infrastructure. I'm looking at this vulnerability. It has a CVSS score of 9.6, which is not good. That is a very high CVSS score. But the chances of me getting exploited are pretty low in the next 30 days. So I'm not ending the stream and losing my mind, but what I am doing right after the stream, patch it. I'm gonna patch it. Let's see. Now, here's the thing. Remember this. This is also something you should drop in a job interview, or if you're a practitioner, you should introduce this. You should introduce this to work. I run Zoom, okay? I want to fix this. So my priority is to get this sorted out. My next immediate priority is to discover if between when it became a vulnerability and when I patched it, which is a window of time, was I exploited? Do I have a compromise in my environment because of this? And you've got to go threat hunting, get your Wade Wells mustache on, and go threat hunting around. And this is where you would look for IOCs. I am running Security Onion in my business network, and I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to sniff around and see what's cracking, okay? Let's see how it works here. Zoom clients for Windows, which is definitely where we're at. This would be your workforce, basically. You can do escalation of privileges. Here's immediate concern, or not concern. This makes me feel a little bit better. Escalation of privilege immediately tells me that they already have to have access to your box. Okay, they already have to compromise you. It says an unauthenticated user, escalation privilege. Like, that doesn't, I'm confused by that one because like you can't escalate privileges if you don't already have some privileges. The whole concept of escalating privileges is that you have regular crappy privileges and you're going to escalate that, right? You have one scoop of ice cream and you're going to add a second scoop. Unauthenticated user would indicate that you have no ice cream cone yet, and then all of a sudden you're going to get 2 scoops. That doesn't make any sense to me, okay? So let me keep digging into this one. Here's the version that you got to worry about, workplace for Windows before version 6.3. Rooms. This is what I'm talking about, dude. Look at Zoom's service product portfolios. What the hell is Rooms for Windows and Rooms Controller? And hey, watch out. Do you have Workplace for Windows or Rooms for Windows? Zoom, you need like a Rosetta Stone to demystify your friggin'... I'm sorry, this just happened this week, and it's something I'm dealing with. I hate wasting time, and I felt like I wasted a lot of time trying to figure out how Zoom's product services work. All right, hold on one second. Let's see. Yeah. Here's the problem if crap happens. We don't need to know about that. We need to know how this actually manifests. Dude, this is annoying. So they don't tell you in here the IOCs. What here? There's an advisory from Zoom. Computer, go to website. Okay, here we go. So here's another pro tip. Going to the actual software manufacturer to get IOCs or indicator for compromises is definitely a best practice, right? What is this? This is... This is not useful. There's no IOC. So here's my thing. Yes, you can patch it. You can fix it.
You gotta patch it.
If you've got a compromise in your environment, Zoom is not helping you figure it out. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you. This is disappointing. You should always, like, bring this up in a job interview. This is a shortcoming. Most people wrap their head around fix it and move on. Fix it and move on. You need to fix it. Like, listen, dude. Here's the reality. Wrap your head around this. If you come home from a trip, right? Like, or you come home from work, you come home from dinner, whatever, and you walk into your house and the door is busted open, like someone kicked open the door. Obviously, there's been an invasion, okay? You're going to be like, holy crap, this is concerning, right? Now, you probably are going to look around and search around and check everything. But imagine, if you will, you go, holy crap, and you go and you replace the door lock on your door and fix it. This is you patching your computer. You put a deadbolt on, one of those bar things, whatever. Your doors, you're not going to get broken in going forward. Imagine now that you just go about your day, right? Instead of going and looking around your house to see if there's been like webcams planted, listening devices planted, jewelry stolen. The windows on the second floor have been unlocked to allow persistence and return of entrance without having to go through your front door. Like all the things that you would normally do around a home invasion. You're not going to do that with Zoom. You're just going to fix the door and go about your day. This is crap, dude. Like,
Microsoft fixes Windows 11 24H2 updates that failed under WSUS. Microsoft has now resolved an issue that may have otherwise prevented the August 2025 Windows 11 24H2 cumulative update from being delivered via Windows Server Update Services, WSUS. This WSUS is a 20-year-old product that, quote, helps IT administrators defer, approve, and schedule updates for Microsoft products on enterprise networks from a single local update server rather than having each endpoint update from Redmond's own servers, end quote. Microsoft fixed the issue after learning of widespread reports from Windows admins regarding error messages received while installing the update.
all right, so 2 things. One, I did not realize that was a Dane Cook skit. Dane Cook was like incendiary hot for about 15 minutes. Boston's own, so hey, Boston's own. Let's give a little bit of love there. I know that he's mired in controversy about being a thief, but whatever. Okay, so check it out. This story is a day old. Chances are, if this is in your environment and you already know about it, Service Desk has been calling you. Basically, Microsoft 24H2 patch is breaking in some instances where you're using WSUS. Now, For you Gen Z people who hear me say WSUS and you're like, is that a new Among Us thing that I need to worry about? Huh? You see what I did there? You see what hold on. I don't know. Talking about Among Us is probably like a very Rizzler thing to do. Huh? Did I do it? Did I do the thing? Okay. I literally just make my 8th grader son gets so embarrassed now. Like, it's awesome, actually, to see him get uncomfortable when I start speaking Gen Z terms without any context of, like, what I'm saying. It's awesome. I've been waiting years for him to, like, be embarrassed by me. I thought WSUS actually got decommissioned. If I'm not mistaken, they announced that WSUS was going away. So if you're still, hold on, WSUS, what do they call that? Sunset, I think. Yeah, deprecation. Look at this. September 20th, 2024, like literally a year ago, WSUS is going away. It doesn't have a date on this, but like, dude, WSUS is going away. It's been going away for a year. This is like so classic Microsoft. They announce like years in advance that things are going to be deprecated. No one pays attention until it stops working. So if you're running WSUS, it's going to break, okay? I low-key feel like Microsoft, like this is a fake hot take, but like, I feel like this is Microsoft doing it on purpose so you'll transition off of it. Just like how Exchange on-prem is hot trash and they want people to get off of it. There's nothing else to say here. If you're patching, it's breaking, and there's going to be a fix for it, okay? So you got to patch it.
You got to patch it.
Okay? What you need to not do, okay? Actually, here's a lesson learned. Here's something you won't read in a textbook. This right here can lead to an erosion of political capital. What are you talking about, Jerry? Here's the deal. Like, gather around the campfire. Here's the deal. We, in GRC, vulnerability management falls under GRC, okay? It's its own discipline, but if you're going to, like, cast a net, GRC, vulnerability management, rolls up to GRC, okay? We, two thumbs, this guy, the Space Tacos of the world, the Marcus Kylers of the world, the Casually Josephs in a prior life of the world. Don't worry, he's still asleep. We need to make sure things get patched. Here is the reality. We don't patch. Thank you, Dan Reardon. There we go. Let's I should make this like a emote. Gather around the campfire. In fact, we're going to make this an emote, okay? Because I feel like I've been doing this a lot lately. Gather around the campfire, okay? Listen, we are responsible for making sure vulnerabilities get patched. We are not responsible for patching them. IT is responsible. Application owners are responsible. We have to go to those stakeholders and say, hey, hey, can you patch your stuff, please? And then they get to say, no, we can't have downtime. No, the maintenance window is for new features only. No, it's legacy and it'll break things. No, I'm busy, right? This is the friggin' battle, and why one of the, like, there's many reasons why vulnerability management is like the most apathetic role in cybersecurity and an absolute grind. It's a great place to get started though, because frankly, seasoned practitioners don't want to do it because it will destroy you. But it is a great place to get your experience. Okay, so with a situation like this, right? Getting to my point, when we say, "Hey, can you patch your stuff?" and we finally get enough goodwill, enough political capital, enough relationship with these IT and application owners, system owners, business owners, counterparts, and they're patching all the things, and we're like, yes, sir, right? It's like, woo, tacos on Tuesday because everybody's patching. Whoosh, pants off. We've got patching for days. And then this happens. You start bricking machines. The updates start failing and not taking action. Here's what's going to happen. Your counterparts are going to be like, bro, you're actually causing me heartburn. You're causing me frustration. You're keeping me from achieving my goals and my mission and my work. So now I'm not down with this. Or it'll break and they'll just say, we're not going to, I tried, we're going to keep moving on. And you're going to start getting additional attack surface introduced to your environment. This is what I mean by the erosion of political capital. It's not Microsoft's fault. It's not your fault. It's not the application owner's fault. But when you start introducing friction into their, like, you're asking someone to do something and it's introducing friction to them, they're not going to like it. They're not going to do it, right? Just as a quick stupid metaphor, since I seem to be have an affinity for metaphors that make sense and drive the point home, but are also ridiculous. Imagine, if you will, you're like, hey, I've got this pair of pants, right? I need you to wear this pair of pants at work, okay? Space Tacos, here's these pants. Put these pants on. Fred on. Put these pants on. And you're like, whatever. You know what? It's one less choice I have to make. I'll put on the pants. And you wear the pants every day, okay? Thank you for wearing the pants. Then I'm like, hey, put these pants on, and I'm also going to pour 1 cup of sand into the pants. And you're like, what? And it's like, just chill. Put the pants on like you always do. I'm just going to pour this cup of sand in there, though. And you're like, okay. And you put the pants on, you start walking, and then, like, you're getting chafing. You're getting a rash. You're like, bro, this sucks. Like, why are you putting sand in my shorts? And they're like, well, hey, it's just the way it is. It's just vulnerability management. Can you just walk? What's going to happen is you're going to go around the corner, take the pants off, put on new pants that are not your, like, cyber pants, and you're going to be walking around because you don't want the chafing. You don't want the friction, okay? This is what I'm saying. And I hope that resonates. I hope that hits with people as, thank you, Space Tacos. Okay? Who knew you were going to catch the daily cyber threat briefing and learn about the correlation between sand in your pants and vulnerability management? But we did it. We did the thing.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Vanta.
Ugh.
Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like right now? We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across over 35 frameworks like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting, and help you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get started at vanta.com/headlines. That is VANTA.com/headlines.
Oh, hey, Derek Welski at the gym putting up gains. Good to see you, Derek. Got to hang out with him at the Simply Cyber Community Meetup. Thanks for the super chat, bro.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
All right. Hey, let's do the Threat Locker ad read really quickly. When we come back, it's going to be James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, jokes of the week, and then we're going to speed run the back half because we got panel jaw jacking, and I've got some studs, like professional studs, running the gambit, all loaded up and ready for you guys. Let's do this. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. Let's let this wash over you in an awesome wave. All right. Alpha Sierra timing it nicely. Holler, guys. I want to say thank you all so very much for being here. I love this community, and I appreciate all of you for all of your contributions and insights. Love Alpha Sierra every day with the songs. Roswell UK and Priceless Pancake with the wry remarks. Phil Stafford, Ellie, and Matisse representing San Francisco. Guys, I mean, there's so many of you. It's hard to name all of you in one push, but I see you, and I really appreciate you. Shout out to the stream sponsors, Barricade, Delete Me, Anti-Siphon, Flare, Threat Locker. Definitely appreciate all of them. Every single day of the week has a special segment. And this beautiful man right here, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Not only is he a close personal friend that I text with like probably several times a week, he's also Dad Jokes Friday. And if you didn't know, he's also got a show on the pod on Simply Cyber called Simply Secured, where he interviews you. He interviews you and the other members of the Simply Cyber community. And today at 9:30 a.m., Kathy Chambers, our very own Kathy Chambers, is going to be sharing her story of how she went from airwaves to AI and all of her contributions. Amazing show. I love this show. But before we get to that, let's do the dad jokes of the week from James McQuiggan. Get ready to groan, because it's incoming. School did start this week, everybody. School started this week. So that's the theme. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet with the gifted subs. So if you're one of the 10 gifted sub members, thanks, James McQuiggan. Why doesn't the sun have to go to school? Listen, I don't know if you know this, but the sun, the center of our solar system, it doesn't have to go to school. It literally has 1,000,000 degrees. Oh, it has 1,000,000 degrees. Why did the fish have bad grades? Okay? Why did the fish have bad grades? You know, this is like a cut scene from Finding Nemo. I don't know if you know this, why fish have bad grades. Because they're all below sea level. They're all below sea level. All right. Why did the students show up to school covered in wrapping paper? Grayson did this on Tuesday this week. He showed up to school in wrapping paper. On the first day of school, his teacher said he had to be present. So the next day he showed up in wrapping paper. Oh my God. All right. Thank you so very much. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet, as always, for the rib ticklers. We're going to continue to speed run, so let's jump over to the la-la-la-las. Alpha Sierra leads us off, but everybody's invited to either sing or head bob like I'm going to do. I love this song, this part, washing over me. I feel it. I vibe with it. Let's go. God, so good. Never gets old, for real. Never gets old. I actually looked at getting a license for this. Still out there. Every single episode gets copyright struck, but you know what? It's such a good song. And if you are alone right now and you're singing la 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 to yourself, if you're yelling it in your car, if your kids are embarrassed in the back seat, let it flow, man. Just let it go. All right, let's finish strong.
Italian hotel guests threatened by cyber heist. The Italian government has issued a warning that, quote, identity documents belonging to tens of thousands of people who had stayed at hotels in the country allegedly have been stolen and are being illegally sold online. Italy's Computer Emergency Response Team states that, quote, a cyber criminal gang going by the handle MyDocs has offered more than 90,000 documents for sale. These documents are, quote, allegedly obtained from 10 different Italian hotels and are high-resolution scans of identity-confirming materials used during check-ins, such as passports and other forms of official ID, end quote. New York sued...
All right. Two things. Number one, three things. One, if you've traveled to an Italian Italy and stayed in a hotel, you might want to check if you're compromised. Honestly, this is, more of the same. This information's probably been compromised elsewhere. So that sucks. Number 2, since it's 10 different hotel chains, my suspicion is this is a supply chain attack. It's probably some third-party vendor that's catered to delivering some type of application service to the hospitality industry, and they've got compromised. So there's that. Number 3, GRC Mafia. GRC Mafia, this is a data governance issue every day of the week. If I check in and you scan my passport and then I check out, you know what you don't need anymore? My friggin' passport. Delete it. You shouldn't be saving these things. 90,000 people? I guarantee you there's no hotel in Italy right now that holds 90,000 people. This is definitely an aggregation of data collected over time. This is piss poor data governance 101. And this is what you do. F around and find out, bro. This is it. You want to hoard a bunch of data because, ooh, we're going to do data mining on it. We're going to throw it at AI. Well, guess what? You got, and now you got to give 90,000 people identity theft insurance. Quick shout out to Lauren, a.k.a. Simply Curly. I'm almost positive it's Lauren. She had mentioned it in a stream the other day. So if Simply Curly, if it's not Lauren, let me know. But I think it's Lauren. The kids think that the Don't You Forget About Me slaps. Nailed it.
Zelle creator over $1 billion in thefts.
Ew.
New York Attorney General Letitia James announced the lawsuit against Early Warning Services, EWS, on Wednesday, alleging that the creator of the Zelle electronic payment platform, quote, did little to stop scammers from using it to steal more than $1 billion from users between 2017 and 2023, end quote. The suit claims that, quote, the company knew from the beginning that scammers were abusing the platform but did not adopt basic safeguards to protect users, end quote. Hacker.
Okay, so I do use Zelle. Zelle is basically like, I'm not surprised. Here's my hot take on it. Venmo, PayPal, we're familiar with these platforms. Zelle is essentially like Venmo or PayPal, except it's created by the banking institutions themselves and adopted them. So if you have a bank account with like Chase or Wells Fargo or something like that, inside your online portals, you're likely to see the capability to transmit money over Zelle. That's part of the deal, right? So talk about frictionless, right? So I could stand up a second app, PayPal, move money from my bank account in there, or I could just do it all from my bank account with Zelle, which is why Zelle is taken off. Now, I'm not a big fan of $1 billion being stolen from users from Zelle and not using basic safeguards. This is financial institutions, guys. Financial industry needs wicked solid cybersecurity, not half-baked cybersecurity. Let's see how the attack actually manifested, because I don't want to get money stolen from me, right? I'm sure you don't either. Cyber criminals sign up, use misleading email addresses to spoof real businesses. Money sent to the wrong people. Okay. I mean, okay, whatever. Okay, all right. So this is not, okay, here's the deal. This is not a, the Zelle platform is not compromised, okay? In fact, I would argue that this attack could be done just as easily through Venmo and PayPal. The idea is that threat actor creates a Zelle account and calls it Dank of America, you know, whatever, or, you know, whatever, Chick-fil-A, but it's like Chick F-I-L-L filet, right? And then they say, oh, hey, like if you want to buy some Chick-fil-A, if you want to buy a moped at, you know, North Charleston Power Sports or whatever, send the money here. And it's just classic social engineering, typo squatting. Oh, I'm going to wire or whatever. I'm going to Zelle $1,000 to you so I can buy this sick e-bike for my kid that he won't stop talking about. And then the money goes and that's it. The Zelle is like a wire transfer, which is why criminals like it, because you can't claw the money back very easily. And that's all it is, right? So this is not a compromise of the platform. And, you know, Letitia James is the Attorney General. I appreciate her looking out for average citizens, but I mean, when I send money with Zelle, I literally get a notification saying like, dude, are you sure you want to do this? Make sure this is right. If I add a new person to Zelle, like say I add Daniel Lowry to Zelle because I'm going to send him some money and be like, Daniel, here's some money, right? It's like, dude, this is a new person. Are you sure you want to do this? Like, here's an email out of band confirmation that you added this, right? So someone hasn't broken in my account and added a vendor to send money. Then it says, are you sure you want to send this to Daniel? And I'm like, yes. Okay. So from my perspective, there is a lot of controls in place. So I'm not exactly sure what Letitia James in this criminal case is all about, but we'll see. I will just say this is a good opportunity if you would like. This is an opportunity where you can educate your end users to help them protect themselves, which is a great practice, right? If you teach people good cyber hygiene that they care about, their own specific personal interests, they'll bring those behaviors into the workforce. And remember, I mean this with all due respect and all, kindness, right? People are selfish, right? I'm not saying, like, listen, it's not like Daniel Lowry is a selfish prick and he's like, it's all about me. But, like, humans in general are selfish because they want to serve themselves. Now, that doesn't mean they can't also want to serve communities and serve others and be philanthropic and righteous. They do, but a lot of times people are natively going to worry about themselves, right? Maslow's pyramid of needs. So if you educate people to protect themselves, they have a vested natural evolution baked in need to want to do that. If you educate them and say, oh, hey, listen, careful finance team, you could wire some money out from the bank, from the business, and the business could suffer some losses. Yeah, I'm sure finance and accounting doesn't want to do that, but it doesn't hit as hard. It doesn't modify their behavior. If I say, hey, listen, you will get robbed. I don't know if you have an extra $2,000 in your bank account you want to lose, but if you don't follow these practices, you could get robbed. Is that something you want? Of course not. And then people are going to be like, oh yeah, like tell me how to protect myself.
Expand Cobalt Strike reach to Linux and macOS. Japan's CERT Coordination Center revealed yesterday its observation of incidents that, quote, involved the use of a command and control framework called Cross C2, that is CROSS C2, which is designed to extend the functionality of Cobalt Strike to other platforms like Linux and Apple macOS for cross-platform system control, end quote. This activity was detected between September and December of 2024 and targets numerous countries.
All right. Because of time and people love the panel jaw jack, and I'm just going to speed run this one. First, real quick, completely unnecessary. If you're listening on audio, the graphic for this story has a Windows logo, an Apple logo, and the Debian Penguin logo, and lightning bolts going to a center. I know it's completely unnecessary, but my first thought, because the lightning bolt is coming out of the penguin's bottom, my first thought was that, like, this penguin did like a spicy food challenge, and it's like the next day, and we're doing a live look-in. Completely unnecessary, but that's what I thought. Second of all, dude, Cobalt Strike is a wicked well-known C2 framework. It's commercial grade. You can buy it with a license. Threat actors will set up shell companies to buy it. If you don't modify Cobalt Strike, then it's easy to detect. As told to me by Mike Saunders at Red Siege. If you don't know who Mike Saunders is, this guy is a legend. He's also a national treasure. Let me show you this guy. If you get a chance, you definitely want to get some Mike Saunders in your life. Here we go. If I can, actually, I'll tell you two things. Come on, computer, load up Mike Saunders. Jesus. This guy right here, I'm going to drop his link in chat. I recommend you connect with him on LinkedIn. Tell him he's expecting Simply Cyber to raid his inbox, okay? So go ahead and scoop on that. This guy's awesome. If you see him on an agenda for a conference, arrange your schedule around his talk. Promise you won't be disappointed, okay? Here's the deal. Threat actors are extending capability of Cobalt Strike. There is an infographic here, so let's get on that. Looks like they use Java to load some type of DLL, probably a side-loaded DLL, and then it runs shellcode, which is custom code that exploits it, and then runs Cobalt Strike. Here's the deal. EDR could stop this on the far left, but at the end of the day, Cobalt Strike is going to have beaconing capabilities that you're going to see. Run a tool like Rita to look for beaconing on your network. It'll really detect most C2 frameworks and the beaconing of that. Beaconing is like a steady heartbeat of the endpoint that's compromised, reaching out to a maliciously controlled server. There's tons of IOCs for Cobalt Strike. Get on that.
Booking.com faces another sneaky phishing trick. Back in June, we covered a story about Booking.com dealing with the ClickFix CAPTCHA scam. And now the travel organization is dealing with a new challenge, a variation on an old-school homograph scam in which a letter in a URL is replaced by a similar-looking character. This time it is a Japanese hiragana character that looks like a / and a little tilde together. In this particular case, the phishing email containing the bogus link purports to be a follow-up to a complaint of service. This is occurring at the same time that financial software company Intuit is dealing with a similar homograph scam with a capital letter I of its name being replaced by a lowercase l. Are you...
All right, really quick, I'm looking. I actually don't see the graphic, the thing in here, but guys, really quickly, this is an attack that's been done for a while. Threat actors all day long. It's called typo squatting, and it's essentially having a lookalike domain name that looks real. If you want a really good example, check this out. I'm going to put it in chat. Microsoft, okay, and then .com, and then rncrosoft.com. Look at that right now. I just dropped it in chat. They both look like Microsoft.com, but the RN at the beginning is clearly not Microsoft, and computers don't give a damn. They're just going to use DNS to translate this, and that domain name is going to resolve to a maliciously controlled IP address. Same thing with these origami things, right? Any Unicode, if you see like the little O with the 2 dots or the U with the 2 dots or the little weird A that kind of looks like a whatever, or the AE thing that I convinced my kid was the 27th letter that got banned years ago, that's what's up, okay? So just be aware of this. Educate your end users. This is a nice one to educate your end users on because it's cool and they can reconcile what it is. Booking.com has been a hot target for threat actors for some reason. We are behind on time. I do want to quickly do one thing because I did trigger brews and hacks. This Linux Penguin is all Linux flavors, not just Debian. I don't know why. I think it was the Debian one, but whatever. Okay, so for you Linux diehards in chat who feel like I just did you dirty, allow me to issue a retraction. It is the Linux Penguin. All right, let's go. All right, literally the fastest hour of the day, I'm telling you. This has been the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I've been your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. You are up to date. You got your CPEs. You're ready to party. And if you're like me, mentally, you want to just punch out and be like, let's do the weekend. In reality, I've got to work all day. I'm sure many of you do too. So I empathize with you and I feel it. Get your CPEs, get your daily threat brief, and get ready. Now we're going to pivot and have some fun. I'm going to put my glasses on and turn into Jerry Guy, which is my alter ego. If you were a first-timer here, I didn't see the hashtag first-timer in chat, but if you were a first-timer here, I hope you come back. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to be jaw-jacking with a panel, and it's going to be epic meal time. Let's go. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw-Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jaw-Jacking. Yo, what's up? I'm Jerry Guy, coming at you hot from the Jaw-Jacking. I'm dropping bombs, son. I'm about to invite people onto this panel that are going to absolutely melt your brain. This is a 30-minute AMA. If you've got questions, put them in chat with a Q. We're off and running on a Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce your panelists. Starting off, you recognize him as Daniel Lowry. He hosted the Daily Cyber Threat Brief on Monday. He crushed it. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Lowry.
Hola, everyone.
Good to see you. Also in the panel right now, Left Coast Zone, San Diego's In-N-Out Burgers, Member of the Year 2007, Wade Wells.
What's up?
Good to see. Very, very measured. I like it. Good to see you, Wade. How you been?
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Are you getting anyone else getting an echo? I may have like
Yeah.
the stream
Oh,
open
hold on.
somewhere else. Okay.
Try it now.
1, 2. Yeah, we're good. We're good now.
Yeah.
Check.
Hey, you know what? If I didn't have a audio issue, I mean, would it really be daily?
You're absolutely right.
A Simply Cyber program. All right, so for real though, if you got questions, put them in chat. I have a question for Wade Wells. So Wade, I lost my mind earlier because Zoom issued a vulnerability that's actively being exploited. That first of all, I don't even want to. It's an unauthenticated user privilege escalation vulnerability, which I can't wrap my head around. But they don't have any IOCs, and I made this comment that you need to patch it, right? But then if you have the ability, it's nice to go back and see if you were exploited during that window of time. Zoom didn't release any IOCs, so as a professional threat hunter, what would you recommend people do to see if they've been compromised?
Yeah, so I had to look into this one. I was listening to it, but I had to dive in because there was like a description of it that didn't really satisfy me, which was an untrusted search path in a certain Zoom client for Windows may allow an unauthenticated user to conduct an escalation of privilege via network access. And so what does that mean, right? Like as a blue teamer, I have no clue. I had to look up what that was to figure it out. And I found one good article that I sent you, but I did also ask ChatGPT, and it gave me the exact same answer as that article. Who'd have guessed?
All right, nice.
For pretty much the short thing is you put a DLL into the path of what Zoom would usually execute. So say Zoom executes zoom.dll all the time. You would throw a malicious DLL in there and then execute Zoom within a particular way so it hits that DLL, and then you get privilege escalation in it. So the IOC itself, there's pretty much you're looking for Zoom probably to hit an untrusted DLL would be my thing, or maybe one that it normally doesn't. I don't know what the fallout behind this would look like. Like, I'm guessing Zoom would launch some sort of command prompt. That would be my first guess, right? Which is going to be really weird already. Or possibly beacon out to an IP that isn't Zoom related, which it also may be a thing.
From a detection writing perspective, could you, like, you don't know what that DLL's file name is going to be, so can you write like wildcard detections like zoom.exe/*DLL or something like that?
You definitely could. That wouldn't be hard. The other interesting part is I would imagine they're going to write the DLL as some name. So I would write 2 detections. One for looking for a DLL that never has been called, right? So all regular DLLs negated. What's a DLL that is never been called ever? Then I would also try to do one for DLLs that have been called that aren't signed. That would be my next best thing. Or possibly something in between that where it's not, maybe like the date on it isn't current. You definitely have to do some poking around to understand what DLLs it's already calling out in order to build that profile around it.
Okay, yeah, checking whether it's signed or not. I mean, how does
EDR.
that detection work?
EDR could do all of that.
Okay.
Yeah. If not, shit. I think that would probably be your best bet. There's no real Windows logs that are going to usually tell you if it's also signed. There probably is with like, what's it called? What's like the in-depth window logging stuff called? I can't remember. Sysmon. Sysmon may give some information on signed packages, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Well, right on. There's your question and a little dose of balance, because I was like borderline a madman on stream, like losing my cool.
Their description of it was it's one sentence. So I was like, this, I agree with you that they maybe should have gone a little bit more in depth, especially on their own website. Like, right, provide some type of detection or some type of guidance. But
I'll tell you, like, I've gotten more comfortable, like, leaning into my own hot takes and going wide with them. But it's always affirming when someone else is like, yeah, I agree with you. Because there's always like that, not imposter syndrome, but that anxiety that someone's going to be like somebody posted something on LinkedIn yesterday. It was like a list of like, it was an infographic. It was like, kind of trying to be a viral post. And it was like, here's like the most common ports and services that you need to know. and they were all right, but the fifth one was DNS and it was port 55. And I was like in bed and I was like, this is bull crap. I'm like, that's not port 55. And I was like, I like hated on it. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if it is port 55? Like, I was just kind of shooting. But then
They
I
were just
Googled it.
gaslighting you, Jerry.
Yeah, and then I Googled it afterwards, and I was like, right. And I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? But anyways, look, we got some questions coming in really quick. How can I get better at Q&A after presentations? I get anxious not knowing what people will ask, and if I don't know the answer. Ooh, all right, so this is kind of a layered question. Daniel Lowry, you do talks, right?
I've been there. I've had this happen where you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I just got done doing a talk, or I'm on a panel like this, and people are just throwing random questions at you, and you never know what's coming down the pipe, and that could build a little anxiety in you. But I found that the best thing to do is just remember that if you don't know something, just say, I don't know. That's a great question. We'd have to look into that kind of thing. Like, it's okay for you to not know everything about everything. If anybody is out there assuming that you should be that person, well, then that's their problem, right? That's an unreasonable ask. So take a little bit of the pressure off of yourself, and remember, it's okay not to know everything and not to know something specifically. Other than that, you're just trying to do the best you can by staying on top of things. If you are going, say if you're going to go sit on a Q&A panel or give a specific talk, obviously you would want to be as versed in that topic as you possibly could before getting there, and that should also help reduce some of your anxiety because you've been studying, you've been doing the hard work, you've been putting the nose to the grindstone, as it were, of learning all the different particulars about that specific topic. So if you remember that it's okay not to know everything, and you do the hard work of trying to get on top of whatever topic it is you're going to go speak on, that should do you pretty well as you go sit there and hopefully reduce that anxiety for you.
There you go. I think that's a great answer. And chances are the questions are going to be like asking you to go a little bit deeper into something you said in your talk, which you've already prepared for. So you'll be nails on it, Cyber Risk Witch. In fact, I'd almost say lean into discomfort, right? If someone asks you a question that you don't know the answer, but it's an appropriate question, what an opportunity for you to identify a gap and be able to go level yourself up too. Wade Wells, we got a specific question from FedEx in chat. Good to see you, FedEx. Let me get this correctly and ask the question. MS Direct Send abuse. This thing's been going off like it's the new, Luma info stealer, that's probably a kind of a tough parallel. But
yeah, it is, but it's okay.
Yeah, you know what I meant the hotness of it, not the
yeah.
Okay, whatever. What are you seeing? What are you seing? Are you seeing Direct Send in your,
I'm seeing nothing because I don't use MS, but a quick which great. But a quick email search, right? Yeah, right. A quick email search about this, right? I was looking, like, indicators are looking for external IP addresses from smart hosts. Of course, SPFF, DKIM, and DMARC failures are always going to be big. Honestly, I could easily, if you're looking at IP addresses, usually internal to internal stuff, you can tell based on like network connections within it. If you have an email security tool, you should be able to write something for this. Especially, if you Google MS Direct Send Sublime, let's see if they have something for it.
Sublime's good. Sublime is a text editor, but that's not what we're talking about.
Oh, no, not the text editor. Sublime Security is an email security tool that is really, really fun to use. And if I could go deep into research right now, I could probably find you an exact detection for it. But whatever your email security tool is, I would be very surprised if there is no actual tool to detect this and find this. Just based off network connections, message headers, and possibly any other type of email security records.
Daniel, Christopher Ryan Rains wants to know, have you used HexStrike AI yet? Advanced MCP server that lets AI agents autonomously run 150 cyber tools. Jesus, sounds interesting.
Yeah, I have not, but thank you, Christopher Ryan Rains, for bringing that to my attention. That is definitely something I'm going to actually, let's see what's going on with that.
Yeah, so Daniel's going to pull into that. Everybody, if you've used HexStrike, drop it in chat. We're going to keep asking questions here. Roswell UK wants to know, and I'll answer this one after you, Wade. He's still junting. I throw it to you because you can't get away from thrunting. I'm going to get you a vanity license plate that says Thruntine.
Oh my God, I hate everyone. I'll put it up on the wall if you do, but I would literally hit you all for it.
He wants to know how to stay motivated when sending apps. Any UK names I can add to his professional network? Well, first of all, I'll just say Mike Prevet is a CISO in the UK. He's an American, but he lives in London. And he's a great person that you could add to your network. How do you keep people motivated when they're job hunting, Wade?
This is so rough. I have a buddy who's been so he has a PhD in statistics. He's been job hunting for the past year or two and has barely even gets interviews. He's like, the best way to do it is just to power through it. Like, there is no, I would say, great way to keep your sanity around it. It's happened to me before where I started applying to jobs, me thinking I'm a badass, and not getting any calls back for 30 to 60 days. So you just have to know it's not you, it's everybody.
Yep.
One interesting part I will share right now, there are a lot of tools coming out right now in order to inspect resumes as they come in. Whether that be looking at what IP address they came in, trying to check them if the AI has been used, and then also looking for contacts within your resume and then search OSINTing those automatically for you to verify that you're a real person. So I will definitely think that's going to cause some issues coming up. This is all due to North Korea. So
yeah, they're very good at getting jobs. That's another thing people complain about is how can North Korea get jobs and I can't? Yeah.
Right. They got to give a seminar, man.
I was about to say we should grab one of their resumes and go over it one day. That would be pretty fun.
That's a good idea.
That would be fun. Steve Young has a question. By the way, Steve, connect with me. He was the community member of the week, and I need to get you your prize, dude, okay? He says, good morning. He wants considerations when picking IAM products for 5,000 users. What's one is preferred in the industry? Okay, so I'm going to take this one because I feel like this is a CISO nerd question. So first of all, SailPoint is kind of a really popular choice. You can look at that. But what I would say is when I'm looking at any products, right, you need to basically I like to choose 3 to 5 vendors and then kind of have some criteria that I define before I start talking to them around what would be considered important to me. So, and it's, obviously they're all going to be able to do identity and access management, right? That's the vertical that they're operating in. But what does it cost? What's the actual license structure look like? What is the requirement for maintenance of this thing? Do you require a full-time employee in order to manage this thing? These are things that a lot of people don't think about. They just stroke a check. I've got IAM now. And it's no, that's not how it works, right? So what's that look like? What does the implementation plan look like? And how is that going to work at your organization? Hopefully, Steve, that your business, the IT, CIO, everybody is on board and fully supportive of rolling out IAM. This is a massive enterprise-wide disruption type project. It will be good in the long run, but this is going to cause a lot of friction, right? A lot of sand in the pants, as we were talking about earlier today. So you want to be good to go. 5,000 users, obviously, that's a good size organization, so that the license cost is going to be pretty high. If you want kind of a cheat sheet, the Gartner Quadrant is, kind of a pay-to-play type thing. People don't talk about that, but it is basically pay-to-play. So obviously top right of the Gartner Quadrant is pre-qualified good products that, you can basically use as your starting pool of ones that you're not going to get fired for, basically, for rolling out, right? If you're in that top right quadrant. These are the things that I would do. I think identity and access management is super important, especially in a modern age where we have agentic AI identities. We have remote workforce identities. We have system identities, right? We're operating in the cloud, hybrid environments. Zero trust architecture is quite popular right now for good reason. And identity is the new perimeter, which I know is such a buzzword, but it literally is a good one. So that's my approach. So I don't want to recommend a specific tool because I don't know your environment. I don't know the tolerance. I don't know your budget. I don't know a million things. But what I would say is that's the approach I would take when I'm doing this. All right. Nerman with the super chat. Let's get the super chat on really quickly. Nerman. I love Nerman. If you guys get a chance to meet Nerman, he's definitely good. I set up a blind cross-site payload with XSS Hunter, which he's dropped in here to somehow try to cross-site script chat. What's the best way to safely test and validate it on scope assessments without risking out-of-scope exploitation? Daniel Lowry, our resident pen tester, why don't you drop knowledge bombs on Nerman here?
All right, I'm loving the question, obviously, because this is highly technical. So you got to take a look at here. So you're dropping a blind XSS payload. What's the best way to safely test and validate it on in-scope assets without risking out-of-scope exploitation? That's a tough cookie to right, because cross-site scripting, obviously, if you were sending this cross-site scripting payload out via a phishing link or something like that, that could be more pointed, right? So you're trying to keep it within the organization. Are you allowed to do phishing? Are you allowed to send that out? Or how are you getting the payload? Is this some sort of reflection? Is this something you're finding in their web application? If their web application is in scope and you just test it, you can test it within your own browser, get the screenshots and saying, hey, here's the things that I have found that this was able to execute from your website on my browser via this payload, so on and so forth. Given the remediations, obviously you need to look through here and see where you're taking input, and it's trying to it's recognizing this as code and not as just regular text. So we got to take a look at what's going on in the JavaScript or however you're taking that input. But how you can, without risking out of scope exploitation, I mean, I just wouldn't send it to anybody. I would find what's in scope, use this only in that in scope area. I mean, nobody knows that you can, or you're going to try this on yourself. You're not sending it to people and saying, hey, randomly see if this fires off. That would be bad. That would be what you don't want to do.
That's a good way to stay in scope.
It's like a bug bounty, right? Like when you do bug bounty stuff, right? They tell you what the scope is. As long as you're well within that range, you're within your browser. You set up a test user so that you can work with it. They know that this is a testing thing. And if you're at a website that is not within the scope that has been defined in the scope document, then just don't do it. I mean, I think that's what it boils down to.
All right, how many times did Daniel say scope?
So much scoping going on.
I like scope. It makes my breath minty fresh.
I love it. Really quick, John V just dropped a super chat, and it's actually directly related to this conversation. John V is our AI/ML resident expert here on security related to in-scope, out-of-scope. When in doubt, play it safe for clients. Try Sandbox for fun later. There you go. Thank you, John V. Got to meet him at the meetup. Good guy.
John V's smart dude, man.
He's wicked smart, yeah.
Yeah.
Really quick, Steve says CyberArk in chat. One thing I want to point out, this is in regards to the identity and access management solution. I love hold on, the super chats are flowing in here now. I love educating. These two guys love educating and providing service. You said CyberArk. I want to point something out that's more macro level. CyberArk just got acquired by Palo Alto in like a ridiculous overpayment. They overpaid like $5 billion or something, okay? When a product gets acquired by a large company, we see this with Cisco all the time, Microsoft does it. The product is fine, but it's going to take a year, and then it's going to start getting integrated into the entire stack. So CyberArk's going to introduce this into the entire Palo Alto stack. The quality a lot of times will go down, and this is just based on trend. The product will go down, the support will get confusing. It'll be like square peg, round hole because they're trying to bolt it onto their initial stack instead of refactoring it from scratch, right? They bought it for $50 billion. They don't want to reinvent it. So as Wade just did the little downhill arm gesture, I just want to point out, before you buy a product, you should Google them and see if they've been involved with acquisition in the last 18 months, because it will impact. Cisco AMP, I used that EDR solution midway through migration, and it was very difficult. It was very difficult. All right, super chat came in. Where is it? From Hot Mustard Gas 20, or for the Kendrick Lamar fans, Mustard! Which Sims do you guys like most, and what's your opinion on Sim?
I'll go last.
Oh, you'll go last? Okay. So I like Security Onion. I mean, that's not really a SIM. It's a whole solution. But the I guess Kibana would be the SIM, right? If you want to get specific about it, I like Kibana. It's snappy. Its interface is cool. It's kind of got that bubblegum look. I like it. I like it a lot. It feels like a more modern SIM versus something like, I don't know, Splunk, which feels very like 1950s, like Rand Corporation interface kind of thing. Daniel, you got a SIM? Like,
I'm not a big SIM guy, obviously, but playing around with a few of them. Waza's not bad. Waza will do the trick for you. Maybe Elastic.
You're both wrong. I can't believe it.
Okay, here we go. All right, so
Yeah.
Wade
Tell me
Wells
you've
dropped-
never worked. Tell me you've never worked with a sim without ever having to tell me you've ever worked in a sim. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my
but
God, Jesus!
it hasn't gone downhill yet, but Splunk is still going to be my favorite. Like, it is definitely very Rand Corporation-y. I'll give
Thank
it
you.
to you that. But the thing is, like, all you need, I feel so minimalist. All you need is a query, right? And the thing is, Splunk's queries are written so easily that you can even query the Splunk server itself and ask for information. It's expensive, the most expensive for a reason. Cisco bought it for a reason, right? I am starting to lighten up on Datadog. It's pretty good, but I'm still a Splunk hardcore fan to the die.
Yeah. Well, Wade Wells. When the stream ends, Wade Wells puts his monocle in, and you're.
It's easier to manage. There's a couple other things.
No,
with
I
it
know.
too,
I mean,
but,
it's expensive for a reason. If the product sucked, they wouldn't be able to charge as much, right?
Yeah.
Cyber risk, which very straightforward question. How long you've been doing the show? It depends on what show you're talking about. If you're talking about the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, then I started this, I believe, December 2021. So it's been a few years. Fun fact, while we're talking about it, since we're about to hit 1,000 episodes pretty soon, the show originally started as a once-a-week show, and it was called First Things First, and it was going to be Fridays only. It was going to be a weekly recap, and I did that for like 2 weeks, and then because I do this every day anyways. Before I started doing a live stream, I would do this every day anyways, and I was like, fuck it, hey, heck it, just let's just go live every day and just get crazy. Sorry. Any tips for finding a happy medium between zero trust and trusting apps and services? Ooh, that's a tough question.
No, never trust, always verify. Just screw it.
Okay, so there is no happy medium. I mean, I guess honestly, I guess I would just say for this one, trust whatever applications that are legit, but legitimate applications get weaponized all the time. Living off the land is like an entire dimension of threat actor behavior. So, trusting applications can be problematic in that regard. So just anybody else on the panel before I cruise on?
No, I love your living off the land analogy. The whole idea that I always just find a little joy in my heart every time I find some service or app that is running, that is probably running with elevated privileges and has something like, hey, run a system commands. And I'm like, oh, I will do that. Thank you. I appreciate the root shell.
Thank you very much. Hey, really quick, we've got James McQuiggan doing Simply Secured in just 2 minutes. He's actually talking to Kathy Chambers, who's a great friend of mine and a great friend of the community. I don't want anyone to throw any shade about the number of tabs I have open right now. This is actually kind of lightweight on the amount of tabs I'm running.
Jerry's cutting back.
What? Jerry, have you ever used Google Groups? Group tabs?
No, what is that?
Okay. You need right click on one of those tabs and say add to group. You can create groups and then shrink them and then save them in the actual, if you use a bookmark bar, it'll save them in that bookmark bar. So I have all bookmarks from all my research all in one of that. So then when I want to go back to it, you just click on that. It opens all the links.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Highly
I'll give it a
Highly
shot.
suggest it.
I'll give it a shot. Guys, we got about 60 seconds. Daniel, 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yeah, going Cybercast IRL today. Going to have some fun. It's going to be at 10 a.m. So you get to watch James McQuiggan and Kathy. Definitely check that out. Don't miss that. Then jump on over to Cybercast IRL. We're going to be talking about some stuff today. It's going to be fun. A little bit of what you were discussing. I think I'm going to try to bring up the topic of, hey, why aren't we patching things? That should be interesting fodder for conversation. Plus, I found a little IoT, not IoT, but maybe an IoT device at my house, and I thought we'd just kind of check that out a little bit and talk about whether or not it's a threat to my personal network. And just have some fun. We just talk cyber stuff. Hope to see you guys there.
Perfect. I just dropped a link in chat to that IRL. We'll keep the train going. Wait, 30 seconds.
I have training going on at the end of the month, teaching my CTI 101 course for the Blue Team Summit. Last time I checked, no one had bought one yet. But honestly, if no one buys one, I just get the day off. So you guys are cool. Don't worry about it.
All right. I will drop a link to this training Wade Wells is doing at Blue Team Summit. It's right here if you want. I've actually taken this training and enjoyed it. Wade is a great instructor, and he obviously clearly knows what he's talking about. All right, guys. I am Jerry from Simply Cyber. The Simply Secured is about to go live. You can see it's already started the premiere, so we're going to head on over there. I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Kathy. I hope you enjoyed the IRL with Daniel Lowry, and I hope you enjoyed the training with Wade Wells. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. On behalf of the whole community, thank you, Wade. Thank you, Daniel. And until next time, y'all, stay secure.